Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about We Fight How We Train and how George Kambosos was able to figure out Teofimo Lopez's early offense, as you can see here, kind of rotating into this punch here, but a very interesting timing, right? And here we can see that George Kambosos is just a little bit behind on the rhythm and the pace of the fight at which Teofimo Lopez is fighting with him, in spite of the fact that Teofimo Lopez has to jump and step onto the line. Okay, now this is a very important part of the fight. Now, early in the fight, Teofimo Lopez was attacking Kambosos whenever Kambosos got on the line with him. Even when Kambosos was waiting for him, here, on the back half of his line, Teofimo Lopez comes in, not really feinting, and jumps in with his jab while Kambosos is on the back half of his line, allowing him to take a step across the line and land an overhand right at that very predictable rhythm and timing from Kambosos, or from Teofimo Lopez. Now, in the second round, Teofimo Lopez was not throwing his deep jab at Kambosos when he was on the back foot. He started waiting for Kambosos to bring his weight forward and then throwing it to the body here. And as Kambosos leans forward, already across the line, already his weight on the front foot, which makes it much more difficult for him to slip to the front foot away from it to set up the right hand over the top because he's already in that position. Catching him with the jab here. And again, attacking him when he's changing positions and trying to get his weight on that front foot, stopping him from being able to set these traps. Again, going to the body and then bringing his weight to him. Now again, Teofimo Lopez is very quick, okay? So getting his rhythm, getting on the line with him to throw a one and then beat him to the position so that he can't get you with the two, very difficult. Again, he's very quick. But his rhythm and his pace, if you watch, 1, 2, 3, is very predictable. So once you start getting his rhythm and figuring out at what point you can control him, and again, Kambosos had a very difficult time doing that early in the first two rounds. Again, Teofimo Lopez is very quick, right? Playing these little boxing games on the line, right? Controlling the line. And then when Kambosos would go first, he's able to catch him, right? If he was set. So how did Kambosos figure out Teofimo Lopez? How did he solve the problem, right? Or solve the takeover? Well, number one, if we take a look at this scene here, he's trying to punch with him, right? Now, that's exactly what he did in the first clip, but Teofimo Lopez stopped throwing punches at him when he was on the back foot, which doesn't give him any space to slip his weight to the front foot, only throwing the jab when he's on the front foot, and then feinting and setting up other attacks. Now, he has to find a way to interact with that jab, because otherwise he's going to get stuck on the back foot eating the big right hands. So when Teofimo Lopez comes forward on that rhythm and timing, Kambosos realizes that he can control Teofimo Lopez and control him and stop him from coming in simply by punching with him. Now, Teofimo Lopez gets the better of this exchange here, coming up with his hook here, catches Kambosos. I believe he blocks that from Kambosos. But I want you to pay attention to the rhythm and the timing. Again, in spite of the fact that Teofimo Lopez is a much quicker athlete, Kambosos, and has better positioning, Kambosos is timing him really well and setting these traps. Again, even though Teofimo Lopez is still coming out ahead, he's still too fast for Kambosos. So Kambosos needs to solve more of what it is that Teofimo Lopez is doing. And then again, deep into the third round, still getting timing. But I want to point out here, as Teofimo Lopez brings his weight to the front foot here, George Kambosos starts attacking him. Okay, now this is a very important development that he started using in the second round, but he hadn't quite figured out the exact timing. However, by the time that the fourth round came out, as we can see here, not getting the timing here, not seeing that it was a very similar opportunity. We're going to come back to that clip later too. But I want to point out that here, Kambosos making an adjustment, timing that jab here, interacting with Teofimo Lopez, just enough to stop him in his tracks, and then throw a combination. And then timing him here and interacting with him with the jab. And again, interrupting his sequence. And then Teofimo Lopez coming forward again, a little bit more deliberate, a little slower, like, okay, tries to get into his same motion. And again, gets interrupted. And again, once Kambosos found this out, he was able to mitigate a lot of the pressure from Teofimo Lopez in the middle rounds. Again, I think when I scored the fight, I had it round 1, even, 9-9. I think Teofimo Lopez won the round, but he got dropped. So he loses a point for getting dropped. I had Teofimo winning rounds 2 and 3. And then I had Kambosos winning rounds 4, 5, and 6. Okay? And then that puts Kambosos up by 1 point because Teofimo Lopez lost a point in one of the rounds that he went down. And then I didn't have Teofimo Lopez winning a round, I think, until round 9. And I think I gave him round 9 and 10 with the knockdown. And again, I think that George Kambosos had 7 and 8. So 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All those rounds, I think that Kambosos, I'm pretty sure from my scorecard, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure I gave all those rounds to Kambosos on the back of him figuring this out. And again, timing Teofimo Lopez as he brings his weight to the front foot, as Teofimo Lopez looks to set up these shots and walk into these kinds of punches. Now, another thing I want to point out, I think that Teofimo Lopez, or I think George Kambosos was also only looking to really throw overhand rights toward the ends of the rounds. I think he knew that it was a big mistake to kind of get stuck on the line with him. And I think at the end of the round is when he would look to time Teofimo Lopez with his overhand rights. As we saw, he had a pretty decent chin. He said Teofimo Lopez's power was nothing special, he said. But we could tell he got stunned a few times, right? But now we're going to take a look at Teofimo Lopez practicing the flaw, the problem. Well, first, let me show you what the problem was, okay? So, as Teofimo Lopez brings his weight forward, he's going to bringing his back leg forward, and then this allows him, and I don't have the clip here of him bringing his back foot forward, but this allows him to use the Jack Dempsey, the falling star, or the drop step. I can't remember, I think it's falling star or falling step. But he wants to allow his weight to come forward. He's going to take a little break of a step here and then launch his weight into his opponent here, right? Using that here to set up his punch. Now, later on, Kambosos realized he needs to interact with the first part of this move to stop Teofimo Lopez from just blasting forward, right? Boom, boom, boom. Because again, he can't really interact with Lopez once Lopez gets his weight going, right? So he has to interrupt his weight transition. Now, watch Teofimo Lopez's feet here. He just brought them together. We're going to go back just a second. He's brought his back leg forward, and now he's going to take a step, and now he's going to take another. Okay, here we go. Boom. And now he's going to take another quick step to blast into this step. Now, George Kambosos caught him here using this move really, really, really well, but he didn't really look to take advantage of that timing or that same move until later. I think that, I don't want to say he got lucky with the timing, right? He timed him really well, but I don't think he understood all of the places in which he was timing him yet. Not until around the 4th round, as we can see Teofimo Lopez bringing his feet together and using that technique quite often here to add momentum to his jab, to add pressure, right? And it was very, very, very effective. He was very quick. But I think as soon as it was that Kambosos was able to break up Teofimo Lopez's movement a little bit and start figuring out that after he brought his feet together, he was much more likely to make an attack. He was able to disrupt his motion. Now again, this clip here, right? He's going to take that step forward, and then when he comes down, he times him here perfectly. Let's go back here. Coming forward, boom. Same exact move, right? He's doing the same thing, and Kambosos is timing him. Doing the same thing, and Kambosos times him, even though he gets stuck on the line with him for multiple weight transitions. But Teofimo Lopez, again, taking a step, and then trying to bring his weight forward. And again, Kambosos timing him, right? Trying to find him on that front foot. And again, getting into his rhythm, brings his foot forward, and then blasts forward into his attacks, right? So again, here we go. We're going to take a look at the training on the pads with his dad. Now, it's kind of a lawless training, okay? I think Teo kind of does whatever he wants. He doesn't have any checks and balances, and I think they kind of just trust that he's doing everything correctly. Now, this is one of the biggest training flaws that happens in pad work is people start to get used to bringing his back foot forward and stepping into this punch, right? Now, for all intents and purposes, it's a fine 1-2. But you have to practice your weight transitions in other ways too, okay? Now he's going to get back into his rhythm and do the same move, right? Try to find a way to get that rhythm going. Bring that back foot forward, and now he's going to step into the 1-2 and then off. Now he's going to get back into the rhythm, take a step forward, boom, boom. Now he's going to do the same thing, bring the back forward and look to set up. Bring the back forward and look to set up. Every time he brings his back forward, he's looking to make his line smaller so he can add power to it, so he can explode off of it when he steps. And again, that's why he has this rhythm break here, right? Where his dad's like, okay, go. And then he's catching him with the right hand instead of the left, because he's not on rhythm with where his weight was, right? So he has to get into rhythm, okay? So watch him take that step off, and now he's going to take that step with that drop step style motion to get himself into rhythm, right? And he's going to practice this and have so many breaks in the rhythm and the patterns of his, here we go again, of his pattern, of his pad work, that he develops that same type of habit, right? And I think at some point, I think in the 4th round it was, that Kambosos picked up on this habit in his training and realized that Teofimo Lopez was much, much, much more likely to make an attack after bringing his feet closer together. And I think that the closer he brought his feet together and the more he looked to bring them together, the more likely he was to take a big step. But also, the more easy it was for him to recognize. Okay? So again, watching Teofimo Lopez even trying to go fast here, bring that foot together to get into that position to step, right? Bring that back leg together and jump forward, right? Trying to get into rhythm, even doing it when he's trying to go fast, right? I mean, and some of it looks really impressive, right? But we can see that this little habit in his training as he was following Kambosos around was kind of responsible, right? Because he doesn't look to use his active guard. He only looks to transition his weight and stay in motion by moving his feet, not by moving his head, not by transitioning his weight, only transitioning his weight with his feet, right? Anyway, there are other videos we may be doing for this fight. I actually had a lot of fun watching and rewatching this fight. George Kambosos should be very proud. He had a really good game plan, and you know, he stuck to it. And it's not easy to go 12 rounds with Teofimo Lopez, okay? It's not easy. So, in the rematch, if they had a rematch, I would still pick Lopez to beat him. And I would pick him to beat him in the same fashion. Early knockout. I just would. I just don't think that if Teofimo Lopez fought a good fight, if Teofimo Lopez threw body shots, if he, you know... One thing that Teofimo Lopez has going for him that he didn't really get in this fight is usually people come to him too, right? But this fight was all Teofimo Lopez being the aggressor, right? He did well in some spots, countering and stuff. But yeah, I think that, not the hype or this or that, but I think that Teofimo Lopez didn't do his best to play any of his boxing games with his opponent. He didn't look to control him or set traps. And once Kambosos was able to figure out his rhythm, and it was the best rhythm at which he's good at delivering his power, right? Getting his weight to the line and throwing his 1-2 by using that drop step motion where he's jumping onto the line, right? Right here. See how his feet are so close together? And now he's going to step into his combination. And once Kambosos was able to figure out that he was using this form of the pendulum step to come forward, to pendulum into his boxing, and to pendulum into his rhythm, and pendulum into his jab, Kambosos was able to time this movement and start timing and interrupting Teofimo Lopez's jab and interrupting his sequencing. Now, Teofimo Lopez should have figured this out and should have been able to feint with that jab and then land a right hand or go to the body. He should have been able to draw these out. But does he practice using the falling step or the drop step and feinting? Or does he only practice using that move and stepping hard with his jab? Right? Anyway, if you guys are interested in learning the difference between stepping with your jabs and those kinds of things, check out my private coaching Patreon as I teach people how to step and slide and move and, you know, the difference between those kinds of moves and, you know, really nuanced boxing stuff. Check it out. It's $50 to sign up, $50 a month. And after you guys send in some videos and I get used to figuring out who you are, I can add you to the other team of other, you know, pendulum boxers and pendulum fighters that I've been training, and that all kind of work in the framework of my teachings and share ideas. It's actually a pretty cool place, but it's No strangers allowed. If you're not sending in video, you're not sending in content so that other people can see and see who you are as your martial artist, then you don't get to be a part of the group. You don't get to interact with them. There's no strangers there. There's nobody in there just a fly on the wall watching people work out, being all creepy. It's only other artists, only other black belt boxers, people who want to be, Anyway, I'm sure you guys get the point. So, if you're interested, check it out. I do, again, that comes with private one-on-one coaching. And then if you're just interested in regular film study or film studies like this, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos on Patreon. A library of film that you will never finish. A library of film that's getting bigger every single day. A library of film that I taught my first year and a half of coaching, teaching people weight transitions, teaching people how to get on the line and off the line, teaching people how to hit the heavy bag and hit the double end bag and some speed bag work, and teaching people how to shadow box and theory, to get to the point where they're going to be in my Discord and be on my $50 coaching Patreon. But all those videos are available on the $10 a month subscription. And there are hundreds of training videos, hundreds of boxing seminars and film studies from all your favorite fights from over the last 3 years. So check it out. All right, later, guys.